Hey everyone, a quick update from day 2 of the Seattle Open. We just finished round 4, which means we're about to break into brackets. And great update for everyone. We're sitting pretty with 3-1 with Alpha Legion at this point in 9th edition. Feels a bit surreal to me too. I just want to give a quick shout out before I go into the game recaps. All 4 opponents have been absolute gentlemen. I mean, seriously. All people who happily play again, get beers with if they came into town. The TOs have been very quick and professional. Really friendly, creating a great atmosphere, and the organizers have put together a fantastic event. I'm just really happy to be here, and much love for everyone involved. Also, a quick shout out to all the Warhammer fans out there following along. It feels amazing. We have all these wonderful people. Again, Warhammer's created a passion project. Want people that love Chaos as much as I do, and just to connect with so many people around the world has just felt incredible. You're all amazing. And just excited to keep making more great Chaos content for people that love Chaos as much as I do. So on to the games. First game was round 1 against Ulthway. It was 2 Fire Prisms, which is really bad for my Demon Engine list. Then standard good stuff like Swooping Hawks, the Bikers with the Shuriken, some Fire Seers, some Dire Avengers, some of the Deep Strike melee people, some Swooping Hawks, or not Swooping Hawks, the Banshees. Really fun list because it had a little bit of everything. So shout out to Jeremiah for a fun list. The difference in this game was that I reserved the Lord of Skulls. He came down turn 2, got an angle on a Fire Prism, and popped one of them, which meant the stratagem to ignore invulns when they shoot requires 2 of them, or I think 2 or more. That means he couldn't use the stratagem anymore, which meant the Lord of Skulls was basically immune to his shooting, unless he focused on it for multiple turns at that point, which meant he was free to get ignored and bully that side of the board. And well played by Jeremiah to recognize that the Lord of Skulls was basically immune at that point. Because he was never getting enough to kill it, which means I was able to just fire a full bracket next turn anyway. So it was a really interesting battle. He played really well, denied me points well. There was one point in turn 2, or I think turn 3, where he put down some Swooping Hawks, have Deep Strike. I was like, okay, I'm going to Auspex scan them. And he tried to push it back. I was like, I'm going to shoot them. And then I realized, you know what, that feels super slimy. Go ahead and push those back, man. Like, we're playing a friendly game. Get you out of range. And we, it was one of those games where he was playing super friendly, and I want to make sure he enjoyed the game. Walked away feeling good. We did a big hug at the end, and I would happily play him again anytime. Very clever opponent, and a great guy. Round 2 was against a Tau player, actually, with a brutal Borcon list. It was a Storm Surge, a Riptide with the big guns, a massive Crisis unit with all of the fusion and plasma, a bunch of broadsides, then only 1 unit of Breachers, and no crew, which did mean that he had a very little OPSEC, so that kind of gave me a path to victory. Because I knew if I exposed anything, it was instantly dead. I had to reserve the Lord of Skulls, for example, Decimators all behind the wall. Turn 1 and turn 2, I shot nothing at all. I was able to go for plays to advance onto the middle objective. Like those midfield objectives from behind a wall, like throw away Cultists, throw away Warp Talons. For example, turn 1, I went for a play with the Warp Talons, where I did a Warp Time play, which I didn't like doing. But I realized I had to take away his OPSEC early, so I went for it, spiked the Warp Time with a reroll. I rolled like double 1s at first. I was like, oh no, my heart. Can't take this. But we made the Warp Time. They came in. Of course, Warp Talons murdered Breachers. Gave him a 0 on primary. That was kind of the story of the game. We kept going for Warp Time plays or advances to just deny primary, keep scoring Stranglehold from behind walls. I had one objective that was exposed in the middle. I was able to hold that with characters all game. So I did is I put the Disco, or like some other stuff like Cultists behind the wall. And I had a character within 3 inches on the objective, so I couldn't shoot it because he had no sniping. I had asked about that. And the lack of sniping in his list, or I guess Tau early overall, meant I was able to hold all 3 of my objectives safely. So yeah, well played by my opponent. He had a really cool beach-themed Tau. It was like a pink highlighted Tau on like this beach display board. Looked really cool, and big shout out to him for a great game. I hope he's doing well the rest of the way. Our round 3 was the one loss, and this was actually to the only other 8th edition codex I played, ironically enough. Although it was a 9th edition supplement. It was the Imperial Knights Freeblade Lance, which basically meant they roll OPSEC, had some additional tricks, a lot of rerolls. And it was to Brian Jones, who's an amazing Knights player. I will say, I do wish the dice had gone differently in this game. I hate complaining about dice, but I just want to say a few things that happened. Turn 2, my Master Possessions rolls for Cursed Earth. Double 1s. It'd be what it be. I rolls again, another Perils. D3 damage, rolls a 3. Goes for his next cast. Immediate Perils again. Yes, he exploded himself in the middle of the lines and killed himself and took away my amazing buffs. It'd be what it be. So then, cool. Psychic phase over, charge phase. Bloodletters had come down, 3d6 plus 1 charge. I roll it, I fail. No big deal, I reroll it again, fail again. Wow. I guess Korn was really mad I'd taken Psychers because he both screwed over my Psyker and the Bloodletters were like, we're not supporting Psyker. We're not supporting this witchery in this game. And my Lord of Skulls had come down, shot at a Moirax, didn't kill it with Demon Forge. He made a bunch of saves, and then his Castellan one-shotted my Lord of Skulls next turn, and rolled at the explosion, rolled a 6, rolled the distance, rolled an 11. What are you going to do sometimes? We actually literally called the game. I was like, let's just score it up. I'm done here. And I said, you know what? Let's see what we can do here. Brian, super friendly. I really enjoyed the game. He played very well. He realized he had a secondary advantage because he has a faction secondary called Yield No Ground, which on this mission basically means he is going to score 15 in his deployment zone. It was also a 6 objective mission with a hold 1, hold 2. And it was the mission that gives you additional VP for kill points. I'm facing knights with a lot of chaff in my army. That was not going to go well at all. I will also say I was a little not a fan of how the mission was set up. They had the the train set up for Hammer and Anvil, but we played Dawn of War, which means all of the boxes holding objectives were facing open to the side. And it was really easy to step a knight like on the side of the mission, shoot downfield into all of my boxes. It was a little unfortunate, but again, Brian's a great player. He played very well. He didn't throw knights away. He played defensively. He realized he had the advantage on this mission. It was his game to lose. I didn't lose it. And again, played very well. No salt. He deserves all the wins he gets, and I hope he does well the rest of the way. But yeah, I do wish the dice and the mission and training had been differently. Honestly, I was prepared to score 30, 40 points and talk it out at turn 2. I'm excited to keep playing. We ended up scoring 75 in a game where I was basically kind of tabled right away. Lost a lot of resources, which honestly kind of shows in a tournament, even games you can't win, don't give up. Squeeze out every point you can. It was like 75 to 90. Because again, he played very well. He was going to score a ton of points. But you're never out of it. Especially because, again, I'm bringing Alpha Legion to a major late in 9th edition. I knew I was not going to win the thing. So I knew with one loss, if I just keep scoring points. So I was able to, like, again, score every point I could. I've no idea how I scored 75. I wish I'd taken a picture of the score sheet. I've gone the rest of the score sheets, and we'll do really in-depth dives into all the games later in an article. Then day 2, round 4, was another amazing opponent. Kenny with his beautiful, beautiful Grey Knights army. Prescient Brotherhood. It was a mix of walkers, some interceptors, some strikes, some terminators. It was an interesting mission. I realized I had a big range advantage, because I had the Lord of Skulls that with Demon Forge can threaten to kill any walker it sees a turn, or at least like pick up any of his 5-man MSUs a turn, at 48 inches. His shooting is all 24 inches. Now, he does have some buffs. He can take a tide. I think there's a strat. So he can go like 30 or 36 inches for one unit, or maybe the army-wide. But it means he was always never going to be able to shoot me from his back line from behind his train pieces. And it meant that if he could teleport to get an angle on the Lord of Skulls, which is always visible, no problem, the Lord of Skulls will then touch terrain next, then blow him off the board. Or Decimators will all focus fire and kill that guy with their short range. So I realized I had that range advantage, which means I could take to the last banners. And that felt pretty good, because I could hold 8 primary turn in my own deployment zone, because it was a 5 objective mission with 2 in my zone. So we were able to use that range advantage a little bit. Kenny played really well. We each had one moment where we got absolutely screwed by the dice. Turn 2, my Bloodletters come down, and you already know where this is going. Second game in a row, I roll my 3d6 plus 1 charge. We fail. No big deal. Grab the dice for a reroll, 3d6 plus 1. We fail again. That was unfortunate. The good news was the mission, or I guess the opponent, or a strat, of course he shot the Bloodletters, killed them all. I was like, cool, 2 CP, let's try this again. And just to be clear, I made sure he knew about the strat at the start. But that's why, like, normally I'm in kind of a bad position if the Bloodletters fail. I was like, that's no big deal, I still have my unit, they're still OBSEC, they'll still be around next turn. So again, a little 8th edition jank because our codex is old. Yeah, we lose a lot of stuff, we're in a very disadvantaged position. We still have a few things we shouldn't have, like Demon Forge on Lord of Skulls, and resurrecting demons versus Grey Knights, pure codex demons like Bloodletters. Anyway, and his bad swing was round 1, he had 5 interceptors, charge unit of 10 cultists. I'd advanced onto the middle objective. 16 attacks, 3s are rolling 1s, 2s are rolling 1s because Prescient Brotherhood, and one cultist survived, which again, he probably should have killed a fair bit. Probably wipes the squad the vast majority of the time. So I was able to insane bravery, that denied him stranglehold, and it gave me 4 more on primary, because I had 12 instead of 8 the next turn. So nice swing there in a 5-point game. But of course, if my Bloodletters make the charge, then I hold him, take 4 off his primary, take down his banner, because it would be into his deployment zone. So again, but that's Dice, yeah, I'll tell the story of Dice and complain about them a bit, but at the end of the day, Dice will do what they do. Focus on your decisions. You still end up in a pretty good spot, even if you're playing off-meta army. So anyway, round 1 is wrapped up. Wallace has probably finished up his game upstairs. I'm going to go check on him. And we'll give some more updates later in the day. I just want to give a big shout out to all the Warhammer fans. Being able to connect with all these like-minded fans around the world that love this faction, this amazing Chaos faction, and lore and gameplay as much as I do. It's just been incredible. You're all just absolutely fantastic scions of the Dark Gods, and can't wait to give you more updates later. Saying a big hug to everyone, and I will talk to you later.